Hi guys, I'm Forrester here with my opinion on the best starter pen for somebody that's new to fountain pens. Now this channel got its start reviewing outdoor gear, and as I branched out into fountain pens, I've heard from a few of you that you're just not interested. Well, my message to you today is that you might not realize what you're missing out on. You know, texting on a cell phone is quick and efficient, but there's just something about writing with a fountain pen that makes me look for things to write about. Now, I've said it before, everything that I write with a fountain pen just seems more significant. And best of all, you can try out a fountain pen for yourself for under $30. And that's not exactly taking a big risk. Now, my goal with this video is to review these 3 commonly recommended starter pens and to tell you which one I think is the best starter pen of all. Let's go to the tabletop for a closer look. Okay, here we are at the tabletop, and the first thing I want to do is properly identify these 3 commonly recommended starter pens. On the left is this red Pilot Metropolitan. This one comes in a fine nib, and I'll do a writing sample of each one later. The second pen is interesting. I've done a video of all 3 of these, but this is my Lamy Safari Copy is how I'll refer to it. It is a clone of the Lamy Safari, and it's identical in just about every way except it has the name Hero on it right here on the end. This is a Hero 359. But for all practical purposes, this is an excellent stand-in for the Lamy Safari. The third pen is this TWSBI Eco. You know how I feel about this pen if you've followed my channel, but that is one that I would include into the starter pen recommendations. Now, these 2 pens right here, the Metropolitan and the Lamy Safari, are often the most mentioned starter pens on videos that you might find on YouTube. I've included the TWSBI because depending on where you shop, it's only a few dollars more. So first of all, what makes for a good starter pen? And I would say the most important thing is an excellent writing experience. If you don't enjoy writing with the pen, you're not going to use it. It's that simple. The second most important thing is a reasonably low price because you won't risk putting too much money into a new hobby that you're not sure whether it's going to take or not. The third most important thing is quality construction. A reasonably low price shouldn't mean low quality, and so we'll rate these pens on that and other characteristics. First of all, I want to give you a writing sample of each pen, and then we'll get into the scoring. Let's go. Let's start with the Lamy Safari Copy, and I'm going to be writing on Tomoe River paper, and this is an A5 paper pad. Okay, and this is the Lamy Safari, and it's a copy. And this, it says an extra fine nib. It writes more like a fine to me. But the quote I'm going to use is the pretty standard quote. Okay. So far so good. Let's go to a different color. I match inks with color, so this is the red Pilot Metropolitan. And this is a fine nib. I use this for editing paper, so sometimes I'm writing on poor quality paper and I need that fine nib. So far so good. That's a high quality nib. That's one reason to get a Pilot Metropolitan. And finally we'll go to the TWSBI Eco. And this is a fine nib. There you go. So there's a writing sample of all three. And now let's get into the scoring. Okay, let's get into the meat of the video, which is the rating of these three pens. And I'm going to rate them on 8 different criteria. It's going to be a very simple scoring system, 1, 2, and 3 for the best, in between, and worst pen for each category. The first category is looks or appearance, and I realize that's very subjective. I'll give you my opinion. You may have something different. But the best looking pen of these three is, in my opinion, is the TWSBI Eco. The next best looking pen is the Pilot Metropolitan, and I downgraded it a little bit because I think this band right here clashes with the red in the pen. That's by design. I don't particularly care for it. That puts the Lamy Safari in 3rd place. And I don't particularly like that clip design, so that's one specific reason why it would go into 3rd place. Okay, next is writing experience. You've just seen me write with each one of these. I didn't have any problems. Some put out more ink than others, some are a little scratchier than others, but this is exactly how I'd rate them. The best writer is this TWSBI Eco, 2nd best, the Pilot Metropolitan, and 3rd best, the Lamy Safari. Next is price, and I'm going to change the order of these based on price because the Lamy Safari is definitely the cheapest of these three pens. Now, you can buy it in different places and get different prices. I'm going to put links to Amazon for each of these, and you can get the Lamy Safari for $20, actually $19.95, and shipping is included in all of the prices I'm going to quote. You can buy the Pilot Metropolitan for $23.93, including shipping, and you can buy the TWSBI Eco for $31.50 on Amazon. Now that's slightly over 30, and the reason I'm saying under 30 for starter pens is that I bought mine for $28.99 from Goulet Pens, but Goulet adds shipping and a couple of different taxes, your state and your city tax. They're the only place I've ever seen that added a city tax. And so my price came up over Amazon's price for what I actually paid for that. So this is the order, with the cheapest being the Lamy Safari. Okay, the 4th category is ink capacity. And I'm going to switch these again and put the TWSBI Eco as number 1 in ink capacity by far. I'm going to go Lamy Safari and then Pilot Metropolitan. Now the Lamy Safari is the only one of these three that has a piston filler. I filled it one time with my favorite ink that I'm pairing with this pen, the Diamine Blue Velvet, and it's getting low. I'll have to refill it soon, but it has lasted weeks. The Lamy Safari and the Pilot Metropolitan, I'm just putting an ink cartridge in, and they don't last as long as I would expect them to, especially this Pilot Metropolitan, and it has to do with a leakage issue. Okay, smooth starts is the next category, and I would say the TWSBI Eco I've had absolutely no problems with, so it's number 1. The Pilot Metropolitan would probably be number 2. That's known for its very high quality nibs. I haven't really had a starting problem. I have at times had a problem with the Lamy Safari. Okay, now the issue of ink leakage, which has been an issue on 2 of these. The TWSBI Eco has not had a problem with leakage at all. And some of this you can tell by looking at the nib. So if you look at the nib here, you might be able to see some ink staining around that nib. You'll see a lot more with this one right here at the time. Ink on the nib as well as ink down here at the base of the nib. It's been an issue with both of them. Now actually, I would change the order of these. This one looks worse right now. I haven't cleaned it lately. But this one leaks a lot. It leaks so much that if you don't make a big point to stand it upright, you could easily, within a week or 2, have an empty cartridge. It's basically brand new and not written with. So this is how I'd rank them on ink leakage. Now, quality of construction, I would change the order a little bit. The TWSBI Eco, I think, is outstanding on quality of construction, and it's a pen that they also give you a lot of instructions on how to maintain. The Pilot Metropolitan is quality construction. I don't have a problem with it at all, except for that ink leakage issue. And the Lamy Safari the same way. Now, I do think that there might be a small crack or two around that nib. Maybe you can see it right there in that area. There's one on the opposite side also. That might be a source of some of the leakage, I'm not sure. But this is how I would order them on quality of construction. And then ergonomics, I would leave them in this exact same order. This pen, the TWSBI Eco, fits my hand better. The Pilot Metropolitan is a little bit too small for my hand, and on the Lamy Safari, this triangular grip section down here, I don't hate it, but I don't love it either, and so sometimes I have to readjust my grip just to be able to write with it. So that's how I'd rate them on ergonomics. So the score overall, the TWSBI Eco definitely comes in first place with 10 points. And remember, low scores are better, the way I scored. These two come in close to each other. The Metropolitan is 18 points and the Lamy Safari is 20 points. So by far, the TWSBI Eco is the best pen of these three. Now, if I can tempt you into experimenting with a fountain pen, I recommend that you buy the TWSBI Eco as your first pen. You can depend on an excellent writing experience, and depending on where you can buy it, it will only cost a few dollars more than the other starter pens. I'm going to include a link to each of these three pens on Amazon below for your convenience. Y'all take care.